So y'all know sometimes before we get into it in some of my reviews, we get a little spicy, just a little bit. But I had too much stuff saved in my phone for Beverly Hills, so I opted to do a video by itself. So let's get into it. So first up, let's read this excerpt from Parade magazine that was posted by TV Deets. If I can find the article, I'll put it in the description box below. But basically, one of the producers from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills decided to speak out amidst rumors about a cast change, which I thought was interesting because I haven't heard anybody talk about like doing a cast shakeup other than people feel like this should be Kyle's last season. But this is what he had to say. So it says, Alex Baskin says RHOBH producers are coming from a position of strength amid rumors of a cast change. He says, I will say that we are coming from a position of strength. So I think Bo's definitely brought a bold, fresh, new energy. And I think that she's really been embraced by the group. But I also think that she stands on her own. So we're really pleased to have her, he tells Parade. I also think that we're always looking around and seeing what's out there. But I think that we're in a really strong place. It's a very close-knit group. I think you see that the disagreements that they have are real and personal, and the fun they have is also great for the audience to experience. You'll see more of that throughout the second half of the season, including on their group trip, which is a big one. So here's my thoughts. I don't know if I feel like this group is in a strong place, but I do feel like it's in a good place. You know, you got Dorit and Bose being friends. Sutton and Garcelle being friends. Kyle, I don't think she's neutral, but like she can talk to almost everybody. Erica, I don't think is neutral, but she can go between both groups the same way Kyle can. And then Jennifer Tilly is Sutton's friend, but I feel like she is a neutral friend in the sense of like when she has events, everybody is invited. Kathy just there in my opinion. So I think the group is in a good place, but we definitely, I feel like, need two people, one full-time cast member with like a dynamic personality that is honestly truly neutral with the group and can have fun with everybody, and then a friend of who's on the same level as Jennifer Tilly that can have great parties and be there to like shake up the energy in the group. But y'all drop down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. So moving on, let's talk about Miss Camille Grammer. So she was on Twitter voicing her opinions about how fans are reacting to Sutton's wallet comment. And you know she don't like Dorit, so she definitely was going to say something. So this is what she posted on Twitter. She says, Sutton is getting the housewives gaslighting treatment. I call BS on DK, basically Dorit. A person by the name of Nickelodeon responded to this tweet by saying, you've been calling BS on DK since she came onto the show. It's not a secret you just don't like her, which is totally fine, but at least be real about it. You're siding with whoever is against Dorit. And Camille responded to this person by saying, I liked her at first. Her first season was filmed at my house and I felt for her. She has changed a lot since then. Another person by the name of Paul says, 1,000% agree, Camille. Dorit was worse to you over nothing, but the wallet comment is what she's mad about. Sutton is right. And then Camille says, I couldn't agree more. So the last tweet she tweeted was this. It also doesn't make any sense that Kyle and Dee were fighting, then all of a sudden the argument gets glossed over. The focus then switched to Sutton getting gaslit. Strange transition of a storyline. Not I think she meant not smooth one, I may add. Oh, and then she said may add. I agree with Camille that I feel like this is housewives gaslighting because when were we ever mad at the ladies throwing wealth in each other's faces? Like that's the whole point of the show is to watch catty, rich women beef back and forth. And I can probably point to 5 incidences throughout all entire like housewives shows where the girls have called each other broke or talked about how much money they have or how less money than another person has. Like, what are we doing? Like, what Sutton said was not that offensive, especially when we saw this season Dorit call Camille a see you next Tuesday and effing see you next Tuesday, and everybody gagged at that. So we're not gagging at Sutton's wallet comment because we don't like Sutton. Like, it does, y'all not making sense. I'm sorry. People just not making sense. So moving on from that, let's talk about Watch What Happens Live. So on Tuesday night, Jennifer Tilly and Crystal Minkoff were the featured guests, and it was actually like enjoyable. The clips that I'm going to play for you guys, I thought were fun. So Jennifer Tilly got asked a viewer question about her relationship with Dorit, now that everyone knows that Dorit does not follow Jennifer Tilly on Instagram. And I told y'all about this in my last spicy corner. So she responded to it. So let me play that clip for you guys.
Any beef between you and Dorit that we don't know about, since she's the only member of your friend group that doesn't follow you on Instagram?
You know what? I heard that theory, and I really try not to get on Twitter that much, even though Twitter is fascinating and there's lots of really like good conspiracy theories. Here, let me undress for this question. Getting a little heated. But you know what? I honestly, Dorit's going through a really hard time.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even she used to post all the time. She wasn't even posting on Instagram. I don't think it's anything Malvoldian. I think she just didn't occur to her to follow the new friend of. So I really like Dorit. I just think she's very clever, and of course she's incredibly fashionable, which is a good reason to like it.
So Jennifer Tilly basically said, girl, ain't no beef. I feel like she's not the type of person to be bothered by people not following her on social media. I don't think she really buys into the hype of it all. What I do find extremely interesting is I feel like if Dorit and Jennifer Tilly were ever to get into an argument, it would be one for the books, and I feel like Jennifer Tilly would come out on top because people wouldn't expect her to be so well versed with her words. Because there's another clip I'm about to play for y'all, because someone asked, like, do you think that Dorit purposely didn't wear a caftan to your party? And when Jennifer Tilly said her comprehension skills leave something to be desired, I said, oh, okay. Jennifer know how to shade the girls. And I live. So let me play that clip for you guys.
Dorit purposefully didn't wear a caftan, or did she not read it closely?
She said in the confessional, she said, you know what? I don't look good in caftan, so I'd rather wear Dior. So I think that she sort of skimmed it and was sort of like, she said she read caviar, but she didn't read caftans. But if you see the invitation, it says caviar and caftans. Right. So, you know, her reading comprehension leaves a little to be desired. Okay.
See, I feel like nobody needs to be bothering Jennifer Tilly, because one thing about her and the people that have Jennifer Tilly's personality, people don't expect them to be very versed with their words. They think they're just kind of like aloof or not all the way there. They're like spacey and kind of ditzy. But then when they lock in and it's time for them to read or really give it to you, they give it to you. And on top of that, she's funny. So she'll probably read you and have the whole table laughing at you when y'all argue. So I would leave her alone if I was any of them women on that show. So moving on. Another question was posed towards Jennifer where they asked, why was it okay for Sutton to say that Kyle stopped drinking because she has a problem, but when the women do it to her, it's a big kerfuffle. So let me play you Jennifer's response, because I do think it was a very interesting one.
90087 said, why was it okay for Sutton to imply that Kyle stopped drinking because it was becoming a problem, but she's so sensitive when Dorit makes a jab about her drinking?
That was
interesting.
Like to play. I'm trying to follow it. Why was she was... Yeah,
she implied Kyle stopped drinking because...
You know what? Some of the girls say to Sutton, they say, you know what, you can dish it out, but you can't take it. And, you know, I understand that. It feels really good to dish it out, but it doesn't feel so good to take it. We're all like that.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So it's not right, but, you know, it's human nature.
Yes.
Sutton is a real live person, y'all.
Yes, she is. You all are. You all are.
So Jennifer Tilly's response was very interesting to me because when I compare her to Bose, I think Jennifer Tilly is what a real friend is when it comes to holding people accountable. Bose keeps talking about how she knows how to assess everybody, but her assessments are one-sided. Whereas Jennifer Tilly, we've seen several times call Sutton out. When the group said Sutton was volatile, she said, yeah, Sutton can be volatile. And she said it in her face when they were on the after show when she was like, girl, you are kind of mercurial. And even here, she's like, yeah, sometimes Sutton can dish it, but she can't take it. But we're all like that. Sometimes it's better to give it to somebody than to receive it. So I think that's a fair assessment of someone that has been friends with somebody for 10 years versus someone who just got into this group and is so one-sided. So moving on, the last thing I want to talk about as it pertains to Watch What Happens Live is they asked Jennifer Tilly and Crystal about the comment that Sutton made about whose wallet is bigger.
Do you think Sutton actually considers herself superior to Dorit because of the difference in their finances, or was she trying to get back?
I do not. In fact, when she said it, there was a stricken look on her face, which might have been edited out because they wanted her to look like the bad guy. It was a terrible thing to say, and she admitted it. And she was actually thinking of giving Dorit her purse. She's like, maybe I should. I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't at the 4th of July, but she's like, maybe I should give her my Kelly bag to make up for it.
Crystal disagrees with you.
Oh, well, no, I think she said in her confessional she didn't regret it.
Yes, but she did the confessional later on. In the moment,
in the moment, you think she
Oh, okay.
that's
but
fair.
then she doubled down. In the after show, she doubled down too. So
Oh, okay.
she was like, I don't care, and she deserved it. But I think in the moment she was sort of stricken, like, I did not realize I was such a bad, bad, bad girl.
This is her wealth to put people down.
Well, she's never done that with me, but I have money.
What do you make of Bose?
So I agree with Jennifer Tilly where she said, I don't think Sutton meant it in that moment, in the sense of when it came out of her mouth, I think she was actually surprised that she said it, because if you look at her face, she kind of stutters as it comes out, because I don't know if she practiced saying it or it was in her brain and she can't believe that it came out her mouth. But then when Erica asked her, so what are you saying, that you're bigger than her? And she was like, no, I'm saying that my wallet is. I think at that moment, something was like, it's out there already. Let me just roll with it. Because then in her confessional, she doubled down on it. And then and the after show, she tripled down on it. And we'll talk about that here soon. And I feel like Sutton has gotten to the point where she no longer craves the group's affection, because I think that's what a lot of people had issues with Sutton, was that Sutton wanted to be liked by Kyle. She wanted to be liked by Lisa Rinna and by Dorit and by Teddy and all of them. I don't know about Teddy because she always kind of gave it to Teddy, but I think she always wanted to be a part of the Fox Force 5 clique and wanted to be cool with Erica and them and all of that stuff. But I feel like she has reached a point where she does not care anymore. And I feel like on the heels of her mom saying that she loves her and her finding some type of closure with the death of her father, I think at this point, Sutton is like, girl, F all of this. Girl, I'm Reba's daughter. If these girls want to get nasty, I can get nastier. And I feel like that's where she's coming from at this point, because it's just kind of like, what else do I need from y'all? And I feel like Sutton has really reached a point, especially with Dorit, where she does not like that lady, because in her confessionals, especially on this episode of this week, it was giving very much like F that lady. Sutton wasn't trying to tiptoe around what she was saying. She wasn't trying to be nice about it anymore. It was really like, girl, she's stupid, she broke and poor, and I don't like her. She's nasty. Sutton really does not like that lady. And I don't think Dorit understands that is a dangerous place to be when you have pissed off a Virgo, especially a Virgo that wanted to be friends with you. Them girls get nasty. Okay. So I said, I don't know what the future is going to hold for them, but I definitely feel like Sutton is not going to back down when it comes to the reunion. And I'm excited to see what transpires. Then we get to Crystal. When Andy ends up asking Crystal, so has Sutton ever used her money against you? And she said, no, because I got money. I screamed, because I think people don't understand that Crystal, beyond her husband having money, she and her brother have a coconut water business that I think is second in the world or second in America. So she has money. Crystal has money. So she's basically like, no, she ain't never said that to me. And I don't think Crystal likes Dorit, especially ever since the child bride comment and Dorit trying to act like she was smarter than Crystal. So the girls really don't see it for Miss Dorito. So let's move on to the after show. So they actually talked about Sutton's wallet comment, and I'm gonna speed it up because it's pretty lengthy.
Somebody else whose wallet fits.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You think you're bigger than her? I think my wallet is. I was horrified.
Disgusting. Horrible. Low blow.
In the moment, don't regret it. I was mad. I reacted in a very aggressive way with the lowest insult that I could come up with in my brain.
Because you know that would hurt her.
I don't think anything hurts Dorit because I don't think she listens. I know how low she is capable of going. Listen, it's the same woman that very callously, abruptly interrupted me when I was pouring out my heart about my child. It's the same woman that has consistently stuck out her hand, and I want you to know that you can lean on me a little bit, and then slap me in the face. You're angry at your life.
Oh.
I mean, the only thing consistent I've seen is consistently horrible to me. Oh. She's one of the phoniest people I've ever met in my life. If you pretend you've got all these fancy clothes, and you've got all this jewelry on, all these bags, go on trips, and you owe the IRS money and your house is in foreclosure, I have so little respect for you. And you're having this separation, not divorce, separation, can't decide. All I see are lies. So I cannot deal with that kind of person. And if she had just come to us and say, y'all, you know what? We're in financial struggle. I am in a marriage that's not working. It is much more likable and relatable to me than to just pretend like everything is perfect. And then all of a sudden it's not, and I'm supposed to be, I don't understand it. That's what my problem is with her.
I know if I was in a very bad financial straits, I know that I would show up with my Louboutins and my Chanel and my, I guess, fake Birkin bag if I couldn't afford a real one. I know, so I have a little bit of empathy for Dorit because I know that's what I would be doing.
You still wear the stuff that you had. But you're not wearing next season's Chanel.
That's what a credit line is for.
Not when your house is in
You know what a credit line is, Tilly.
Foreclosure. Not when your husband, it has left you.
Yes,
come on.
that's the time to show up more than ever.
Yeah, it would be nice if she had said, yeah, we're having a hard time in our marriage. When Andy asked her last reunion, how are things? Better than ever.
Liar.
First of all, we don't talk about money like that.
You
know, if you're really trying to have some class, you don't talk about money like that.
Miss Etiquette,
Wow.
Miss Country Club, Miss Reputation, Miss I'm on the board of the ballet. I have made a lot of changes in my life since I got divorced. Mm-hmm. I've dropped several boards because I can't afford to have all the boards. I'm not on all the boards anymore. Mm-hmm. And I did that because I had to. Ask me all the questions you want about my life post-divorce. Mm-hmm. I struggle with my Augusta house all the time. It's a lot to upkeep that house. I just made a decision to move I know this sounds real stupid, but I'm still being very honest. My apartment in New York, I downgraded so I can live the way I want to in an honest way. She shows up head to toe in some designer like she paid for it. We don't know. I am sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I just want her to be truthful.
How did you get your money, Sutton? That's not exactly bragging rights. Are we gonna sit there and say we're basing all of our value on who we are as a person by how much money's in our bank account? Because then also Sutton can sit down too.
So I just got a few thoughts about this. First, I can understand Dorit's hesitation with Sutton because we have seen Sutton offer out her hand to Dorit and then smack her in the face with the truth, the harsh truth about her relationship and how her life is going. And that can be very jarring when you expect somebody to be kind and empathetic towards you. My next thought is this is why I can't get behind Bose when she talks about she's very analytical and she assesses situations because she has yet to call Dorit out for insinuating that this lady has a drinking problem when now y'all know the extra truth about her not liking it because her dad took his own life on pills and alcohol. And you have yet to say no, Dorit, that's kind of messed up. And Bose keeps wanting to act like she's very fair, but she's not. You're that lady's friend, which is cool, but stop saying that you're fair in your assessments about the group. Number 3, for Kyle to act like, oh my God, Sutton needs to sit down because let's think about how you got your money. You can definitely tell that she and Dorit are now in a better place, because had they not been in a better place, she probably would go up for what Sutton said. But let's be real, Kyle, you hoping, and you better hope, and you deserve half of what Mauricio has when you two get a divorce. Dorit is hoping and praying that PK got money locked in an offshore account, because if he don't, all that money going to debt collectors. And Erica is still upset that she didn't get no money from Tom Girardi, that them people swooped in with this lawsuit and took all that money. She has been complaining for the past 3 years about being poor. So to act like, if not most of the ladies in Beverly Hills beyond this cast don't get their wealth because they married rich or they were with a man who got rich and they deserve that money, is wild to me. Y'all are only saying that because you don't like Sutton. And my other thought is, I feel like because of what happened with Tom Girardi and how like national and global that case was, they are now going to have to start actually bringing in the stories that we see offline onto the show, because that ushered in that type of movement, because that used to piss off a lot of fans, including myself, that we would see things offline about how the girls owe money or how this person's husband is suspectedly cheating, how they're in dire straits and all of this stuff, but yet they would not bring that on the show. We used to talk about the Fox Force 5 having a pact that they would not mention what was in the blogs and in the press about each member. And a lot of people used to get frustrated and upset about that, including myself. So now they have to bring that information to the show, because we're not going to act like since Dorit and PK been on this show that people have been calling them scammers and been fraudulent. Like, let's be honest and let's be real. And the other part, Jennifer Tilly is telling the truth, that if I was in dire strength, I would still show up like I have my Chanel, my Louboutins. Like, I would not act like I'm going through what I'm going through. But I also get where Sutton is coming from. Like, girl, you're a liar and you're not honest about the things going on with your life. So I'm going to start picking at you because you've been picking at me. So the last thing we're going to talk about is one of the after show clips where they're talking about Dorit not wearing a caftan.
I've known Sutton for 5 years. This woman has never, ever, 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 ever ordered water when we've gone for drinks. Ever.
Sutton, what do you want to drink? Do you want vodka cranberry?
I'm going to start with a water.
A water.
Sutton,
It's important to stay hydrated.
Is that because of our tete-a-tete? Well, that day was like 90 degrees. So I'm sorry that I sat down to have a glass of water.
How tacky of you.
I mean, I don't know. Every now and then I do hydrate. I'm like a hamster.
Sutton is ordering that water because of what Dorit said at her house.
Didn't you ask Sutton what she's drinking?
Yeah.
And you asked, is there alcohol in it? I mean, Dorit, shut up.
It's her little way of like sticking it to Dorit, but she's really just sticking it to herself because you know she wants to have a drink with everybody else.
I'm living in the moment and trying to bridge the gap, because Sutton and we are in a place where things ain't good. So how do you break the ice? How do you, trying to make, a passing comment in jest or have a little banter or...
Well, no, she don't like your jokes, Dorit.
No, not at all.
Let's not jest anymore.
Seriously.
She jabs at you like because she sees
She
it
knows
bothers
that's
you.
where
She
to
knows
get
that
you.
it bothers me.
Right.
But it would bother anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
it would
Yeah,
bother
of
any
course it
one
would.
of us.
Yes.
Just like, I'll continue to say, I saw that woman pour vodka into her Coca-Cola. And we all know she drinks the drinks with the vodka and the lemons and the no peels and the dead carcasses everywhere.
Belvedere Club Soda, 3 lemons, squeezed in carcass out. Thank you.
We know that. So we know that. We've seen it for years. I
As
think
the
she
summer
likes to
progresses.
hate me. I think it's like a fun passion of hers. So was it a dig?
I think it was, yeah. It's subtle, I mean.
It was subtle?
It was a discreet, elegant little dig.
I should have
A
said.
ladylike dig.
Where's your caftan?
I think I missed the caftan memo.
How did you miss that?
She definitely did that intentionally, absolutely. I think Dorit was just like, I don't give a about what your invitation says, and here, this is how much effort I'm going to make for your party.
Dorit did not show up in a caftan, and I thought, I wonder if she doesn't know what a caftan is. But then I thought, what? International traveler, child of the world, Dorit has never
Speaks
heard
4
of a
different
caftan.
languages.
Yeah, so I don't know what that was about, but I did notice that she was talking to TMZ on the way out. Maybe she knew they were showing up, and she didn't want to be wearing like a kooky outfit when she's talking very seriously about the dissolution of her marriage.
Caftans are not cookies.
I personally love caftans. I think that they're glamorous, and
They are.
they cover a myriad of wibbly wobbly bits, and so I swan around in caftans whenever I can. As y'all.
So see, and this again, why I can't get with Bose and her trying to say she's so like fair, because you're not, because you know for a fact that lady does not like that your friend is insinuating that she's a drunk. Like talking about Dorit, she doesn't like your jokes. You should have said, no, your joke was mean. And Dorit knows it wasn't a joke. Dorit knows she was picking at that lady. She knows she was picking at her. And I feel like you have reached a point with Sutton where, girl, she gonna go back and forth with you now, and she gonna be nasty. Cause here lately, if you watch the seasons before, Sutton really wouldn't give it to the girls. She would just like, cause she didn't want to, cause she wanted to be friends with them. But now that she feels like she don't need to be friends with them, oh, she gonna be nasty. And I want to see it. Because at this point, if everybody gonna be nasty and we gonna start hitting nerves where we're talking about people's mental health and alcohol and you being poor and broke, let's play the game. Let's play it. Okay. And I do think Dorit purposely decided not to wear a caftan because she wanted to stand out. But to me, she looks stupid because you always go on about how you're this chic girl, you're this and you're that. You could have wore a caftan and really broke up the scene because the dress you had on was real basic. Even though it was Dior or whatnot, it really didn't give fashion. It really didn't give glamour. Like, this was a time for you to let your hair down and really show the girls how you work an outfit. But you didn't do that. So yeah, y'all, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Remember to be bravely authentic and definitely comment, subscribe, and like the video. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.